How would you describe your studies at Collective School?
I think when I went to Drummers Collective, what impressed me the most was how systematic they approached drums and how to learn drums in a very systematic way. That really influenced me a lot.
But I think Germans are more systematic these days.
Yeah, maybe, but some people still in Germany think that artists are just good because they have a God-given talent.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's a lot about really learning your craft. It's more like a craft. So that was really impressive about Drummers Collective. So they were more like, okay, you can learn this, you just need to know how. And that was, the biggest influence.
Who was or were your teachers at
the Collective?
Yeah, at the Collective.
Kim Plainfield was one of the teachers that influenced me the most there. And then I would have to name Michael Lauren, who lives in Portugal now. Pete Zeltman. Probably these three were the ones who had the biggest impact.
Mm.
But I had many more teachers because when you're at the Collective, you can choose which teacher you want to take private lessons with. And I didn't have any teacher that couldn't teach me something new. So every lesson was really a good lesson.
Could you please name some of your favorite drummers?
Yeah, the first drummer that had a big impression on me was Peter Criss von Kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not so much because of the drumming, but more because of the whole band. And me and my brother,
it was iconic those days.
Yes, it was iconic. But after that, all the drummers that played with Sting or the Police, Stuart Copeland,
Omar,
before that, Omar Hakim and Manu Katché, and then of course Vinnie Colaiuta.
Yes.
And Dennis Chambers was one drummer I was listening to a lot. Yeah, maybe these.
Yeah.
Dave Weckl, I should mention Dave Weckl.
Everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
I have a friend who studies at Pop Academy, and he's a very close friend of Annika, and Annika is one of your students.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that Annika Nulis has a very disciplined practice routine, and there are sheets of exercises hanging on her practice room as well. How your practice room does look like?
My practice room?
Yeah.
I've never been to Annika's practice room.
Can you give me a glimpse to your practice room?
My practice room is more like a studio because together with the bass player who plays in my band, Jan Delay and Disco Number 1, we have a studio.
Uh-huh.
So my kit is always there, mic'd up and ready to record. And I do keep practice sheets. I write down what I want to work on. And I'm really well organized when it comes to practicing. But I don't have like a whole wall of sheets hanging there. No, I don't have that.
Do you record during the practice time?
Not really, no. I only record my practice when I'm not sure. But normally I can tell if it's working or not by just listening to me while I'm playing.
You explained it fully and beautifully at the workshop yesterday, but I just want to have it for the website. How do you manage your practice routine and the process, the procedure you just mentioned?
Well,
workshop?
There's different parts of my practice routine. One part is more about creativity, so it's not about measurable progress in terms of tempo or so. And then other parts of my practice routine are more about grooves. So this is more about feeling good with what I play. And other parts are about being able to play certain things I'm working on at certain speeds. And then I always write down the date when I started to work on a certain idea and keep track of the progress I make, which is that's very good. So that way you actually see on a piece of paper your progress. So that's a very good thing to do.
Okay. You have a book called The Groove Book.
Yes.
And some guys ask me to know, in what ways do you suggest to practice a groove book? Do you suggest to play the same groove every day for like 20 minutes until the perfection comes to it, or just have different grooves for a day and make the sound great in a specific period of time?
I think, the thing about the book is that it covers so many different ideas. So you can work on different chapters of the book at the same time if you feel like that. So, for example, you want to work on your linear drumming, you can work on the linear chapter, or if you want to work on your ghost notes, you can work on the ghost note chapter at the same time, because it's not like you have to be able to play chapter 1 first and then before you can go to chapter 6. So each chapter is a final closed story in itself. And I think it's always two aspects when it comes to grooves. One is you should be able to play the pattern right, and the other is you should make it sound real good. So these are two different sides of the same coin. And I think you shouldn't stick to one groove too long. I think it's better to progress through the book, and always you should be able to play it well, of course.
Uh-huh.
Right?
So none of them precedes the other one.
Some do. Some do.
Okay.
But for example, there's a specific chapter about ghost notes, and then after this chapter there are more grooves with ghost notes. But if you want to know how I came up with these ghost note patterns, it's good to work on the ghost note chapter first. But you can still play the other grooves, but then you won't know the story behind them.
While writing the groove book, what was your main focus? What problems did you face as a writer, you know?
Yeah, the thing was, I always write my own exercises since I went to Drummers Collective. And I have so many exercises, either written on paper or in my computer. And I wanted to write a book which is fun to play. You know, it should be... Everything in the book, I believe, sounds good if you are able to play it well. And there are some books on the market which are more about systems, and then only a few things sound good, but some of it is only because the system tells you to play this way. And so I wanted to write that book, and I was really enjoying working out of Future Sounds by David Garibaldi. But what I missed in this book was how he didn't really explain how he came up with the grooves he wrote down in the book. So my intention was to give the student the possibility to write their own grooves and create their own patterns.
And be creative with them.
Yeah.
How does teaching feel compared to the playing?
I enjoy doing both. But I consider myself more a player than a teacher, because I'm playing many gigs and studio sessions, and I love teaching, but it's not the main thing I do.
Do you practice teaching, or have you ever?
Yeah, you practice teaching while you do it, right?
Okay.
So yeah.
So no specific course for teaching.
No.
Okay.
No.
How did you find your way through finding inspiration from the environment? How when you face what I call the writer block, how do you face that with that?
You mean when it comes to writing a book? Yeah, it's sometimes difficult, of course, but then you have to think about it, because what I find most difficult when it comes to writing a book is keep the explanation really short, but have everything in there that you want to bring across. And that was the most difficult part in writing the book, because I know from myself, when I have a book, especially when I was younger, I wasn't really reading what they explained. So I was only playing what was written there. So I wanted to keep that really short, but have everything in there.
Again, this is a question from the workshop. How do you come up with your drum parts? And the main part of the question is that, do you play... if you have ever tried to play simple, or you just play simple?
No, for me it's more... the main thing I care about when I play with bands or record with bands is that it feels good. So it's not so much about actually what I play, It's more about how I play it, and that's my main approach. So, for example, if you have a simple groove like ga boom ga dum ga dum ga, then the way you phrase this boom is so important for the groove, and that's what I like doing, making these things really good. And sometimes the patterns I play are a little more sophisticated, but I don't really aim at sophisticated patterns. I'm more into.
You go for the sound.
I go for the feel.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
For the feel. Yeah.
And does the producer want you to, play a specific pattern or a specific groove?
It depends. It totally depends. Sometimes in a studio, it's really a freelance job where a producer has a very clear idea of what the groove is, So the exact pattern is clear, and sometimes they just say, "Okay, make a suggestion."
Mm-hmm.
It really is different every day. So when you work in the studio, you will really realize very quickly if a producer wants suggestions or not, or maybe they don't even talk about it, and it's just a natural process. So, and then you try things, and then at some point he will say, "Okay, that was great, and I really like that. Let's go for this way of playing that groove."
Okay. Could you please talk a little bit about your experience playing with Jan Delay and Disco Number One?
Yeah, I joined the band in 2006, which is 9 years ago, and it's just the best experience, I have to say, for several reasons. Well, what the public sees is not always the right image, But with Jan Delay, we play huge concerts. Not always, but often, especially in the festival summer. We have a long festival season in Germany from the end of May until the beginning of September. And we get to play in front of 50,000 people, for example. And it's so much fun to do that. But at the same time, the whole band is enjoying that so much because Jan, he's the boss, and he is so generous in so many ways. So the feeling in the band is really, really good, and you don't have that much.
It's like a band.
It's a band, actually, and he wants it to be a band. And I know it from other artists who might play in front of large audiences as well, that the overall feeling in the band is not that good because there are some issues that the musicians are not happy with. It might be money, or it might be that they are not playing on the records, or it might be that they are not involved in composing or writing the music. And with this band, we're involved in everything. We write the music together, and we play on the CDs, and then we play live on stage together. And even if I think that the set list isn't really good because I think, well, that's not a good song to start with or anything else, then he's always listening to our suggestions.
Most of the times being just a drummer sucks.
Not really, it's okay too. For me, it's this profession has so many different aspects, and sometimes I'm just a drummer, but I like being a drummer.
Okay.
So, and sometimes I'm a band member, and sometimes I'm just the hired guy who plays what the producer wants me to play.
So you enjoy either of them?
Yeah, really, yeah.
What's your plan for the near future?
Like the really near future is when I come back home, I go to Scotland for the Scottish Drumming Festival or Drum Festival, and after that I'll be traveling to Canada to give a online masterclass at Drumeo.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. And do another masterclass in Victoria, December 5th. So will this video be online before December 5th?
I hope so.
Okay. So if anybody from Canada sees this, there's a masterclass on December 5th in Victoria. And after that, I'll be going to the US and do a few workshops and masterclasses there. And then we celebrate Christmas in Germany and we don't work. So, yeah.